there seems to be a little bit of a power grab between the right and the left, especially in Washington. And while I'm definitely more of a conservative, I think that's pretty clear. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm definitely more conservative and believe in a lot of the conservative values and understanding that I believe in a small government. I believe in freedoms that the people have the right to choose their own freedoms and their own destiny and their own life choices and everything that way. That's kind of the conservative platform. That's kind of a mainstream, or not really mainstream. It's kind of a pretty common ideology among the American people. However, it doesn't always seem to be the case within Washington, even among those that consider themselves conservative. Realistically, if you want to talk about it, the right versus left and, the different policies and everything that way, the right and the left, they're really two wings on the same bird. It's kind of an old saying, the right and the left. Realistically, neither side's really fighting for the best for the American people. Both sides are fighting for power, for them to remain in power, which gives it, the more power they have, the more people they have on their side, the more power they have. But in reality, both sides are working together to divide the country, in a way, in some ways anyway. Maybe not, like we used to, not quite to the extent that it used to be, but it's definitely something that both sides, work to divide, not unite. And it's something that the American people need to realize and stand up for, try and unify each other, unify. Obviously, there's always going to be differing beliefs among people, whether it's on the same side, whether you consider yourself on the right or the left, you're going to have different beliefs than somebody else that's, that's on that same side as you in some instances. Not a lot of them, just generally speaking, those on the right, we believe in, more freedoms, whatever, and those on the left believe in a bigger government and everything that way, just in general. Not there's people that they got differing beliefs within those realms, but those are kind of the general ideologies between the two sides. But like I said, without, the right can't be the right without the left, and the left can't be the left without the right. They're two wings on the same bird. They have to have each other and have that, somewhat division to be able to play the politics game. And the two-party system is something that, while it's not ideal by any means, it's also, it's definitely not ideal. There's just no real ideal, situation or anything between the parties and how many parties you got. The two-party system, I think, is probably the best we can do, at least right at the moment. Because there are so many different ideologies and different beliefs within each side that you kind of have to try and unify each side, the general ideas within one side or the other. There's a lot of conservatives that I disagree with, some of the things that they do. There's a lot of conservatives that, I don't agree with what they're doing or what they believe. And there's things that they, that I believe that they don't believe in. I'm not a politician, but it is what it is. Everybody has their own beliefs, and that's what makes America great, and that's what makes America, what I believe one of the greatest countries to ever, ever on the face of this earth, because you can have these different beliefs and not be punished for it, not be prosecuted for it like you could in other civilizations, of the past, and even some today. Even there's still some of those civilizations out there today that are that way. But the two-party system is not great, and you just have to remember, everybody, the politicians, they're not looking out for you and I. They're looking out for themselves. And to look out for themselves, meaning they have to stay in power. So there's no real, politicians, they're out there, they're not helping you out. You have to help yourself out. And if you can do that, you have to help yourself out. It's plain and simple. It's a mess. It always will be a mess, at least to some extent. hoping that maybe we can get some good politicians that actually are for the people, but chances of that seem to be pretty slim, because even the ones that start out that way, a lot of times they realize that in order to stay in power, they gotta be power hungry, and the only way to do that is to look out for themselves. So that's what, just remember, no politicians are out for themselves, not for you and I. So don't be going out there, necessarily defending every one of them out there just because they're on your side, because chances are they're really not on your side, not like you think they are.